So in this video we're going to carry on and we're going to use selection tools and a layer mask to put this peg that we've created a focus stack of. We're going to put it into this scene here, all right, but in such a way that it looks fairly real, and it'll be nice and big. Hopefully it'll look sculptural. So we've already collapsed all of our layers into this one single layer here. But I'm going to leave it in here just for the moment while we make our selection of it and we apply a layer mask so that we can kind of just drag and drop it almost ready formed into our finished image. So I'm going to cut it out, and for this, because we've got a nice sharp edge around the peg, I'm going to use our polygonal lasso tool. All right, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to start in this bottom corner here, and click, drag, click, drag. Now it doesn't matter if this isn't perfect because I can tidy this up later on, because obviously this is going to be applied to a layer mask. Put a couple of clicks around the corner there. Don't really need to be this accurate with this, but I might as well. It'll save me a tiny bit of time later on. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to cut away the shadow. All right, we don't need the shadow at this point, but we will use it later to create a new shadow that works well with the scene, because this shadow obviously just won't work with the scene that we're going to drop this peg into. Okay, and then that little round dot appears. Okay, and when we click that, it creates our selection. Okay, now we can convert our selection into a layer mask by hitting the layer mask button. Oops, if I turn all these layers off, then you'll see there's our peg. Okay, and that's ready for transfer. So if I click on the move tool, and I'm just going to click in the peg, and I'm actually going to transfer it into our image. All right, and there you go. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to use the transform tool, Command T on your keyboard, to resize it. All right, it's just about finding just that right position that makes it feel and seem real in this shot. Okay, so at the moment, you can see it's a little bit ragged around the edges, but of course we can tidy that up with our layer mask. So I'm going to go in, I'm just going to tidy up those edges, okay, with a relatively hard brush. Okay, I'm going to do this very quickly, but you can spend a bit more time, so I expect you to do it better than I am. It's just about getting rid of any really obvious halos that are going to obviously make it look like it's been cut out. If we get rid of those, then people won't know that this peg isn't real. out in there. I could do that better. But now the good thing is, because we're working non-destructively, it means that we can go back and we can edit this any time in the future. Obviously, if we were going to sort out the layer stack images, these images here, then we would have to go back to the layer stack. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to leave that as it is. And if you're using a later version of Photoshop, I think that issue has been resolved.